We're going to be teaching algebra topics number 10 and 11. The y-axis is the vertical line and the x-axis is the horizontal line. However, when y equals 1, the line will always go horizontal, and when x equals 1, the line will always go vertical. So that is opposite of what the lines are. So, if we were to plot 0, we're going to plot 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, and 4, 1. So for 0, 1, this is 0, and then we just go up 1. And for 1, 1, we're going to go over and up. 2, 1, we'd be going 2, 1, 3, 1 here, and I guess, okay, so for this would be 0, 1, this would be 1, 1, this would be 2, 1, and this would be 3, 1. So for each one, the line would go horizontal. Just continue to go horizontally. So at first that is confusing because when you think of y, you always think of vertical. Then the second part that I'm going to be teaching you is that although the x-axis is horizontal, when x equals 1, the line will always go vertical. So I guess we'll use the examples of 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. So when x equals 1 and y equals 0, you would go over 1 and up 0, so you would mark it right there. When x equals 1 and y equals 1, you would go over 1 and up 1. Then the same thing, you would go over 1 and up 2. And then for 1, 3, you would go over 1 and up 3. So again, this shows how even without these, you would have this vertical line, and then it would just continue to go up. So because the x is always 1 and it's always passing through this 1 point, no matter how many you were to go up, whether you go up to 1,000, 10, or 1,000,000, it's always going to be vertical. So because y is associated with being vertical and x is associated with being horizontal, some people get confused as to why when x equals 1, the line is always vertical, or when y equals 1, the line is always horizontal. So I'd like to know if anybody needs a clarification or a question. Yes?
What happens if y equals 1 and x equals 38? Will it still be horizontal?
Okay, so everyone can see the board. If your question was if y equals 1 and x equals 30?
Yes.
So that's going to be, we're going to be plotting 30, 1. So let's see. It's going to be going 30, and then let's say up 1. So this is going to be horizontal. If you were to add, let's say, now you wanted to also do 25, 1 and have them together, that would be right here. So again, that's showing, this might help more to show how it's going to always be horizontal. Some people find it easier with 2 points. So,
thank you so much. That was so helpful.
Do you have any other questions about?
Yes.
Okay. What's your other question?
What about if x equals 1 and y equals 30?
So x is going to equal 1 and y would equal 30. So the other way around. So 1, 30. Let's see. So if we were to go over 1 and then up 30, you see how this is, because it was over there, you see how it's still going in that vertical? So that's showing you. So no matter what the number is, how big or how small, when x equals 1, it will always be vertical. And when y equals 1, it will always be horizontal.
Thank you.
X, vertical, y, horizontal. X, vertical, y, horizontal.
This is an example of a positive slope. A positive slope is a line that rises to the right. A negative slope is a line that falls to the right. This is a zero slope. A zero slope is a flat horizontal line. This is an undefined slope. An undefined slope is just a vertical line.
Okay. Mrs. Waterleyman, I have a question.
Yes, Hannah.
What is the slope? I don't understand. Slope?
The slope explains the steepness of a line, which is the change in y over the change in x. To find the slope of a line, we must use slope formula. This formula is the change in y over the change in x. This change is represented as the difference between two y's and two x's, which looks like this. Let's try using slope formula. In order to find the slope between 2 points, you must use the formula we just talked about. For example, let's say you had 2 coordinates. Coordinate number 1. And coordinate number 2. Now we'll substitute these numbers into this formula. So we would do 4 minus 3 over 2 minus 8. As you can see, the 4 is representing this y, and the 3 is representing this y. Likewise with the x's. The 2 is representing this x, and the 8 is representing this x. This would equal negative 1 over 6. Now you have your slope. Now let's graph the slope we just found with our slope formula. First, we rise 1 and move over negative 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our point would be around here. This means for every 1 unit change upward, there are 6 unit changes horizontally. Collinearity is when all points lie on the same line. If points are collinear, then the slope between any 2 points from this line will be the same. This is an example of points that are collinear. We find the slope between the first 2 coordinates and the last 2 coordinates. After using the slope formula that we just learned about, you can see that the slope is the same and therefore these points are collinear. In the next example, the slope between these points are not the same and are therefore not collinear.
Not collinear.